Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrade.com. It is Sunday, the 14th of December. This is my week ahead video I'm putting out for free. I had all intentions of doing charts this week. I was going to do them yesterday, got distracted. Then so I said, okay, let me do them today. And then we had a surprise 6+ inches of snow here today. And I've just been shoveling all morning. And yeah, yeah, won't even talk about it. So you guys get the video for free and I hope you enjoy it. So let's talk about this week. This market has not been the easiest of markets for the last 3 to 4 weeks, and we come into this week and we have some economic data. This is courtesy of Trader Exchange. They do a great job, by the way. Uh, the big thing I want to see is what Mirren and Williams say tomorrow morning on Monday. Mirren, especially because we know they were dissent. He wanted a half-point cut. Williams has been in between, going back and forth. How much of this data we're getting, I don't know. We got ADP employment report. We're supposed to get non-farm payroll at 8:30 on Tuesday, maybe. PMI at 9:45. You have a bunch of more Fed speakers on Wednesday, Thursday morning, CPI maybe. And I don't think we're getting PCE on Friday. I think that is really just not happening. So just keep that in mind. Earnings perspective. Earnings, end of this year coming in here, not much left. We do have some names. You have Lennar reporting on Tuesday night. Look at the housing. Micron, the big one there on Wednesday after hours. Nike and FedEx on Thursday. And, that's just about it. So we're pretty much done there. Let's talk about sentiment as we go into this week. And, this market is doing a great job of not getting any really good sentiment signals. And that's kind of been one of the most annoying things of it. So on the oscillators, Nasdaq is plus 75. We're now back to the positive side of neutral. The New York Stock Exchange plus 46, positive side of neutral. Your advanced decline lines all kind of flattened out, held in, but look at the Dow still strong, the IWM okay. No big turnover there. Highs, lows, lows on the S&P 500. Yeah, we dropped, but still 135 versus 9. These are fabulous numbers. On the Nasdaq, plus 234 versus 144, narrow but still strong. So, the number of stocks making highs versus lows still very strong in this market. Put the call neutral and market overall breadth. I'm calling it a pause on the Nasdaq, which is there, and the New York Stock Exchange, but we'll see. Not much going on. So the ES, what did we get here? The ES got very close to getting to that all-time high, and we got a doink candle. What was Friday's candle about? I don't know. There was volume on it. Maybe they're trying to clear things out because they don't really want to be trading for the last couple of weeks of this year. We have options expiration, by the way, on Friday for the month of December. I don't know. There was no real good reason for this. Everybody's blaming, the AI news and Oracle and all this and that. But the bottom line is this market's just not trading particularly well right now. You can see it hasn't been able to go anywhere. It looked like it was ready to break out after the Fed and go. And here you get a doing candle. It came down. It closed under the 8-day and right on the 21, above the 21 day. The NQ, weaker, got hammered below the 50-day. Crude remains out of play. Bonds, nothing going on here, remain weak. These should be going up. They're not. Gold, almost to the all-time high. Silver, nice big move up last week, but I had a doing candle on Friday. Bitcoin, we continue to watch Bitcoin remains weak. This 95 area needs to break. The VIX saying, yeah, maybe, no, not much going on here. I mean, spiked a little bit and came back down. HYG, nothing going on there. It continues to lag the market. That's a little bit of concern. The transport's trying to break the upside. Nice move. It came in. And the dollar overall remains weak. So the SPY, here's your doing candle. Came in, bounced off the area, the 21 day, right? Undercut it, came back up. We got within a couple of cents of all-time highs and couldn't get there. Couldn't get there. Got there in the pre-market hours, right? At the after hours, right? Here you go. Nice pop, but we could not get there. Just didn't want to do it. So, question is now, is this a one-day doing candle? That's the question we're all going to ask ourselves if we go into Monday. Is this just they were trying to shake some people out, a little more selling? Bottom line is you have a box. You can put a box around here. Right? What I'd like to do is come in and set some drawings here. And you can come in and say, we've been in a box. So you can, there we go. All right. So you can draw the box like this. That's probably a little bit higher here on the upside, but you get the idea of it here. I don't want to waste too much time of your time on this, but you get the idea. You have a box here, and yeah, we can pull it up. Except it doesn't want to pull up. There we go. There you go. So you got a box trade, right? So until you break out of that box, nothing's changed, right? You can see this is a 2+ week old box. Nothing's going anywhere. We held the 21 day, we held the bottom of the box, and that's all that really matters there. Couldn't break to the upside. I still think this market wants to run it to the end of the year, but right now it's trading difficult. We'll see. You break below here with volume and frequency. You watch for a move down to the 50 day. You have a little gap in there. And then we see. If not, we push back up, see if we can break out, take out that high, and grind up into the end of the year. If you're looking for what's strong, the IWM new all-time highs, Doing candle on Friday, but still above the 8 day. Same thing with the Dow. The Qs remain the weak link. Uh, the financials have been extremely strong. I wouldn't be chasing this move though. You look at the size this move to all-time highs. Goldman, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up days in a row before we got a down day. You don't want to be chasing that. Watch for a dip to the 8 day. Morgan Stanley, similar. Wells Fargo, oh, look at that, same thing. Citigroup, same thing, right? Bank of America hit the all-time high on Friday. This is just breaking out. That one you could take a look at. JP Morgan, after getting killed on their analyst day on Tuesday, came all the way back and now just shy of the all-time highs. It still looks good. So I would watch JP Morgan and Bank of America for trades this week and see how the rest of the banks act. Energy to me, just not the place to be. Not even to waste my time unless you want to go nuclear, in which case it's GEV, right? Continues to be stronger, pushing back up. Pharma has been strong, just a nice little flag. Lilly had a nice candle up here in the last couple of days. We'll see if it can break back above and start running back up. Merck has been strengthening up. BMY had a nice day here. You get the idea. They're still hiding in those names. Crypto, not the place to be. Coin overall holding in better than crypto, but remains stuck here. Needs to break that 200 day to get going. Hood, I count as both a bank and crypto. This one, 2 day sell off. I took a loss on my last couple of calls I had and got out of it the other day. What's going on here is they had bad metrics for October and the market reacted to it. And maybe it wants to come down and test that 100 area. That's a very strong area of support for it. Some of these other smaller banks, SoFi is holding in. I know you guys like Open Door. I just can't get into that one and Rocket. Right. Let's talk mortgage. Let's talk space. RKLB, this space remains strong. Space trade, nice little move on that one. ASTS, I know you guys have been beating me up on this. Yep, nice little move with the Doing candle on Friday. ONDS into the drone space. BKSY, right? These names are all holding in fairly well, and that space trade seems to be where people are focusing on right now. China names for me, don't want anything to do with them. BABA is just doing nothing. Baidu, not much better. JD, right? I know you guys like Bull. Nothing going on here either. This whole space area to me just remains out of play. Airlines, yeah, okay, they're up. They're not doing much. I just don't like the airline trade in general, but they're doing okay. We're seeing names like Boeing, trying to break to the upside, can't get going. CAT remains extremely strong. Doing candle, that was off an all-time high. Retail, Costco earnings were good enough, and up a little bit. Walmart all-time highs. Target has been strengthening back up towards that gap. Lulu, oops, Lulu, nice little move on earnings. I'd keep an eye on this one. All right, trying to wake up. I didn't think the report was great, but it was better than feared, and that's sometimes all that matters. Kohl's after that report continues to hold up well. Same thing with AOE. So some of these AP, Aeropostale, APE, I don't remember. I don't trade that one enough to remember that. Let's take it back to the SMHs here. SMH is here, nasty candle there. Again, they're worried about this AI trade. And if you want to know what's going on here, the market's broadening out, they're taking profits, and they're worried about the AI trade. The worry here is very, very simple, that the amount of money being spent by companies like Oracle and Amazon and Microsoft and Google and everybody, and the amount of money they're spending to buy these AI chips and build these data centers, they're never going to be able to turn a profit. IBM has come out and said, we don't think it's going to happen. A couple other companies come out and said it. They're also worried that names like OpenAI and Perplexity and Anthropic, that they're never going to be able to pay out these contracts. They're never going to be able to come up with that money to pay it, and that these contracts are not ever going to see fruition. Okay. So the SMHs, which have been strong, they're taking the hit. Avgo, blowout report. Why is it down so much? What happened here? Very, very simple. They had great report. They guided doubling their AI chips for next quarter, but they did not update their guidance for the year. That's why they got hit. Bottom line is watch that 100 day. If it comes down there, gap above if we go into there. What else? Micron reports this week just off the all-time highs. Nvidia news there has been constant, constant negative on this one. We'll see how it trades, but bottom line, doink candle there, back down. Watch that 170 area for a hold. AMD, holding it a little better. If it comes down, watch to see if that gap holds at 195. Intel has gone back into sleep and coming down. And the rest of the space kind of PLAB, I'm out of this. That had a nice move there. Qualcomm, ARM, onsemi, they're all resting here, but still look good. Western Digital, right? The memory space, SDNK, SDNK, if I type it right. There we go. Also, SNDK, SanDisk coming off the highs. All right, so we'll see. None of the names like Dell got hit hard here. SMCI, which I still don't like as a company, still hit. It's just nothing going on there. That remains the place to watch. If they come for the semis, it'll be everybody back in. But right now, they don't want it. And we go to big cap tech. Microsoft here cannot break above the 21-day last week, had that gap down on the news that they denied, and they can't get back above the 8-day and that 200-day there support. Got to watch that. Amazon tried to break this downtrend, did, and then got caught up in this, held it kind of into the close. We'll see. Not trading particularly well. Meta also came down, filled that gap. That is not a real candle. That candle never happened. And that is just, you can see it here on the day. It's not there. This was a bad print. Oops. There it is. This is a bad print on that 1 minute. Not real. Never happened. Bottom line is can't break above the 8-day until it does, remains a problem. Google, which had been one of the leaders here, back on the 21-day, but still holding better. Palantir, trying to hold in here, needs to break that 190, held the 21-day. Oracle absolutely destroyed on earnings, and I think this can go lower. I like this down. Here's your 185. I like this down around the 179 area, maybe. As for maybe we'll see. We'll see. Adobe, which report was okay, they pushed up a little bit. Overall, that space remains weak. ServiceNow splits 2-for-1 at the end of this week. Keep that in mind. Apple, I know you guys love this. This thing is sideways. It's squeezing between the this 280 area and the 21-day, and just until it breaks, there's nothing to do. And lastly, we'll talk about Tesla. Tesla had a nice candle, trying to break out. Tesla's acting stronger. It's one of the strongest names in the market right now. So as we go into this week, my plan is very simple. It's to look for names for momentum, try to find what's in play every day. Friday for me, it was Tesla. Traded Tesla. That was pretty much the only trade I made and paid well. Caught that early, made money, got out, let it come back down, didn't get back in, but overall looks good. And then see what we get. Does this market want to rotate back to the AI trade, or are we just going to let this go here? So with that said, I wish you all well. I'll put a link in the description below if you'd like to join us in our trading room. And happy holidays, everybody, and catch you guys in the room tomorrow morning.